Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Praetorian, and welcome back to Urban Empire. Alright, so we haven't played this series in quite a while, and you know, I always meant to come back to it, guys, but the problem was I kept getting sick, and that kind of delayed us, and of course we got really busy, you know, just all kinds of things happening. Some of these things I'll be going over in a vlog that I'm hoping to have it out this week here. I just recorded it the other day, and yeah, it's been crazy. We've just been very busy, and I keep getting sick. We got these sicknesses keep going through these houses, so I wasn't able to finish this campaign, which was very unfortunate. Now I'm coming back like you know, well after, and I've already started a new campaign on this with another family, the noble family, the conservative noble family. I don't recall their name. So yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and end this here because it has been so long, and the reason why I'm recording this video is one, to let you guys know that I will be ending this, because I always try and do a little finale video just to kind of, you know, let you guys know what's going on, why I'm ending the series if I'm ending early, such as in this case, and then also I wanted to give you guys my general thoughts about the game. You know, that's kind of the most important reason why I'm doing this, is I want you guys to kind of know how I feel about it after having played. You know, we're in era 3 here with this family. My other family that I'm playing with, I just entered into era 3, so I have a little bit more experience kind of knowing what it's like playing it, you know, through multiple campaigns here. So first of all, just to deal with the basic game here, not the replay value, but the basic game. You know, as the more you play a game, you start to kind of like peel back the layers of this onion and kind of discover the, you know, the mechanics of the game, how does it tick, you know, how's it work inside. And sometimes you find that the game is deeper than you ever thought it was, and other times you find a very shallow game that really is not that fun to play, especially as you kind of learn what's going on behind the scenes. And that is the case with Urban Empire here. Guys, it's really not a deep game at all. As far as the economy goes, it seems like you can pretty much do anything you want. Nothing you do seems to have any real effect on the economy, with the exception of, you know, your city income, your expenses. That's the really only economy you have to really truly worry about. Now, the economy, there is something going on behind the scenes, but it seems like the things you do have very little influence on it, unless they specifically say it's going to affect this kind of shop or something like that. But for instance, taxing. Taxes seem to have zero effects on the economy. I haven't noticed any effects. In my other playthrough, you're not playing as conservatives, so I was kind of keeping the taxes low. But here we went to era 3, and I wanted to start running some tests or whatever. So as soon as I entered era 3, I started just ramping up the taxes. I had a deficit, and that's the thing, is taxes are extremely easy to pass. All you have to do is have a deficit. You have a deficit, and anybody will pass it. Even the more right-leaning parties, the conservative parties, the fiscal conservatives, they don't care. They will vote for more taxes, higher taxes on, you know, both citizens and, you know, poor citizens, wealthy citizens, doesn't matter, and on the businesses. They don't care, because you're in the deficit. That's all they see is, hey, the city needs money. So yeah, it's really easy to pass the taxes, even with parties that shouldn't normally support it, and yeah, those parties wouldn't even favor taxes even if you were in the deficit. They would tell you need to cut your expenses. That's the way the right likes to do it. They don't want to increase taxes for anything, for the most part. You know, they do some, you know, you've got to do some taxes, of course, but they prefer really low taxes, so they would not vote for that. So yeah, it's too easy to pass the taxes. I mean, there's no reason not to, because it doesn't seem to affect the economy at all. And I've seen this in the reviews as well, that it seems that the best way to do it is just, as soon as you get in a deficit, pass as many taxes as you can at the moment, and then just kind of keep doing that. And yeah, you can roll with, you know, 50%, 60% taxes and stuff. I tried. I think I got it up into like the 40s or something. No effect on the economy. I was kept able to passing it, and it's just ridiculous. That's an insane amount of taxes that, you know, wouldn't even work economically in the city here, especially during this time period. But yeah, it works just fine. Doesn't affect your economy at all. So there's really no reason to not ramp your taxes up as high as possible and just get a lot of money, which, yeah, doesn't like make a lot of sense. There's not a lot of different ways to play the game. I found, as playing as a conservative, I found that you're kind of handicapped if you go the conservative route. If you try to resist some of the changes, you know. In this playthrough here, we have been a little bit more progressive. I'm not gonna say we've been, fully progressive party, but we definitely have had, more progressive measures passed and stuff. I feel like we definitely kind of went the progressive route for this playthrough. Certainly for the time period, you would definitely consider us a progressive. And from the two different playthroughs, the progressive and the conservative one, you're handicapped as a conservative. You just don't. Most of the conservative policies are negative. They're really, really bad, and there's no reason to go that route. So if there's an optimum route to do things, then that means there's not really a choice. So there is no choice to go. You just need to go progressive. Get your brain power as high as possible. And yeah, it's just I want choice in my game. I want to have to be able to make decisions rather than just go down this optimal route all the time. The will of life values, just not important at all. Of course you want to have them high as possible because you do need happiness in your city. This becomes particularly more important once you start getting into the elections and stuff like that. Obviously you don't want to lose the election because I believe I haven't lost any elections, but I believe that's the end of the game. You don't want to lose the election, so that is important. So the happiness does have effects, but there's so many easy ways to get happiness up. And yeah, these, like I said, getting these up here are not all that difficult. And yeah, you can easily kind of balance it out, and people don't seem to be that much irritated. Some of them are lacking, and it's just too easy to manage them. There's just absolutely no depth to this game, guys. As far as you compare it to a strategy game, you compare it to a city building game. There's also some more political games, which is kind of like a city building game mixed with a politics type game, and yeah, it just doesn't have the depth that you'll find in other games. I found it very lacking. Now, with that being said, I thoroughly enjoyed playing the game the first time through. I liked the events. I liked all the choices. Some people don't like the fact that when you get an event and you have multiple choices, that it doesn't always tell you the effects of your options there. Now, I generally actually like when a game does that, when it doesn't tell you the effects. I wish Crusader Kings 2, for instance, didn't tell me that if I pick this option, I'm going to get the cruel trait or this trait or something, because then I'm just going to play optimally. I'm not role-playing. All I'm doing is playing which one's going to get me the best things. So I generally like that, and in this game, I liked it a lot most of the time. There were several times, though, like for instance, when they asked me what kind of street lamps I wanted to, adopt, like what kind of style of street lamps. Each one of them have different effect, but you're telling me, I don't remember what the models were. I think there's like a British model and like a German model, maybe French model. I don't remember exactly per se. But yeah, I don't know what if I have no idea what their bonuses are going to be there. And that's kind of one where you think you would want to know, because it's not so much role playing. It is like which one, because I think one was based on security and one's more based on like the environment or something like that. So yeah, those ones I can see that being a legitimate complaint that I would like to see the effects too, but for the most part I didn't mind that. I enjoyed that part of it. I loved the events. The flavor events were awesome. They did play the same ones over and over again a few times, those random events that they have, and yeah, I didn't like having to do those ones on over again. I think I would like to have some of those events programmed so that they don't fire again once they've already fired, but then in that case I don't know if the game would have continue to have as many events as they may want. The technology, with the progress cloud and stuff. I mean, it's an interesting way of doing things. I didn't have too many problems with the progress cloud here. I believe that's what they call it here. Yeah, the progress cloud. And it's interesting how they have the different eras and how you can you don't have to go in order. You can get stuff over here from 4. Yeah. As you can see, we're not even in 4, and we can grab some of these up as long as we are linked to it through these little wirings here. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. The way they did that. So I like the progress cloud overall, but once again, it's just such an empty game, really, when it comes down to it. The kind of big feature of this game, the selling point, is really the city council. This is what I found to be one of the most enjoyable features of it, and sure, I think it is a little bit gamey. It's really, really easy to manage them. It's really just clicking buttons when you are managing them, if you want, to appeal to the parties here. I mean, we just, plead, demand, or threat. Really, they just affect the amount of goodwill you're losing, and some of them are more effective than others at increasing their chances of voting for or voting against the thing, basically voting your way. So I mean, it's really easy to play with, but for some reason I found a lot of enjoyment with it. I actually really enjoyed playing with this. This is probably the best part of it, kind of messing with the parties here. So yeah, I think this was good. I think once again it doesn't have as much depth as you would like. It's kind of a shallow feature. But yeah, it's still fun. I enjoyed playing with it more than I thought I would. And I wish that they do more games like this, like they had the Democracy series, which is, kind of a more political based game. And yeah, I might want to move over to that series, try playing that a little bit. I haven't tried it personally, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. But yeah, I like this part. This was fun, even if it did lack the depth that it probably should have had. The parties, I also feel like they were a little bit too easy to push. It was a little bit too easy. As you guys saw, I don't know. I'm not going to try and say like I'm this awesome great player. I don't think that's the case, guys. I think they're just far too easy to get what you want. You have parties that are voting for things that go completely against their ideological principles. So yeah, I can't get behind that. I think that they should have made it a little bit more difficult to manage. Make it where the makeup of your city council is a little bit more important to you. Because right now it's really not that. It doesn't change things as much as it really should. Whether you have the left or the right or the center in power. Because you can kind of get everybody to vote for you. You just got to manage your goodwill. That's pretty much what it's all about, is managing your goodwill properly. So it's a little gamey thing here, where you just kind of manage the goodwill, and it doesn't really matter. And all it is how much goodwill you're gonna have to spend to get them to vote the way you want. I wish it was a little more difficult, a little more realistic. But yeah, still fun. So there's that. The city building mechanics, extremely simple, guys. Really not a lot to it. I wish we could at least choose the zoning. The way the zoning, we can obviously choose down, the percentages, how it breaks down. Whether we have 50%, residential here, or 75% residential here, whatever. We can choose the percentages, but we can't choose where the zones are. So you end up having like residential right next to industrial, which anybody who's played like a city building game know that's usually not good to do unless you're trying to build some slums, which I always do in my city building games. But yeah, you can't really control where the districts are, or how they're broken down, and where the zoning is what I mean. And so I wasn't really big on that. I wish that they would change that up, but that's not what this game is about. It's really not a city building game, guys. It's pretty basic, and what you're kind of getting is that everything about the game is extremely basic. When all put together, you can get fun out of it. Obviously, I was enjoying my time with it. I think the events played a big role in that. Without the events, I think there would be nothing to this game. It would not be fun to play. I think the events were a big part of it. So to move along to replayability, because that's where the events come up here, is the game replayable? After you play one campaign, is it worth playing another one? Really, if you're buying this, are you buying it to play one campaign, or are you going to get a lot of enjoyment from it like you would most strategy games or most city building games? Well, I'm playing it with my other family, and I will tell you that each family does have their own unique events, which is really, really cool. They all have their own little kind of event tree that get fires for the the different characters or whatnot. And yeah, I found those to be incredibly enjoyable. Each one is unique. Each family has their own unique events, and that's cool. I love that. But that's it. That's the only thing unique as you go through. As playing as a conservative, we have these random events. They may or may not fire right. They may fire multiple times. The entire time, my entire playthrough, second playthrough, all the way up to Era 3, a little bit into Era 3 now, I've seen a total of one event that I hadn't seen in this one. That's it. So I've seen multiple times. I see the same events that I've seen multiple times in this one. So yeah, I've seen like that circus one. I don't know, maybe we've seen it like 5 times in this one. I think I've seen it even more times in the other one, like 7 or 8 times. Just ridiculous how many times that event fires. And yeah, we see the same old events firing over and over again, and there's no replayability to it, guys. Same events. You get the events every time you get a technology, or about halfway through a technology usually. Sometimes it's at the end. Those events are the same. The effects are really just minor effects to your wheel of life values, maybe to your economy and stuff. But yeah, overall, there's nothing really different in the second playthrough. Even playing as a conservative, I didn't really feel like it was that much different than my progressive playthrough here. It felt pretty damn similar. I would say that there's absolutely no replayability to this game. I would say you could play it once and probably have a good time. I know I have. My first playthrough, I was enjoying it. But then after that, there's really no point on playing it again, guys. Really not at all. It's just there's not enough depth to it to try to really warrant playing this game a second time. So, if you're going to purchase it, you're going into it knowing that you're going to get, I don't know how many hours it takes to kind of finish a campaign. I would say, if I had to guess, you could probably finish one if you're moving, pretty quickly through it in about 10 hours, maybe even quicker. I suppose it just depends on how fast you play. But I know that I got to Era 3 very, very quickly. I think it was like, I don't know, maybe 5 hours of gameplay, maybe not even that, 4 or 5 hours. Yeah, I would say it's probably about 4 hours that I played to get to Era 3. So not a lot, guys. I moved through it pretty quickly, and that's already, halfway through the game. So you're going to get maybe through one playthrough 10 hours is what I'm going to guess. And that's all you're going to get out of the game. So if you believe that 10 hours is worth the purchase, then you know what, you probably will have fun with it, especially if you've watched this full Let's Play and you have enjoyed what you've seen. You've enjoyed, the simple, the more simple city building. You enjoyed the politics, which really I think the kind of main feature here, the city council and dealing with them. You enjoyed that. You enjoyed the way the technology works. Then yeah, I would say it's worth a purchase, especially if you buy it on sale. If you think that the price that you're paying is worth for about 8 to 10 hours of content. On the other hand, if you're looking for this to be a game like the Sim Cities or like City Skylines or like any damn Paradox game where you're really gonna get your money worth, you're gonna be able to play it for a long period of time. You're gonna do multiple campaigns, and every campaign is gonna feel relatively different, and you're not gonna get that from this game, guys. You're really not. I'm already bored on my second playthrough because it feels like I want to keep playing because I want to see Eras 4 and 5 since I haven't really played that far. Which, keep in mind, from my thoughts on this game, which is not really officially a review. I'll probably throw a review on the title or whatever, since I am kind of reviewing it. But I mean, it's my thoughts on the game from Era 1 through 3. I haven't played 4 or 5 yet, so I can't really comment on how the gameplay is in 4 or 5 because it could be drastically different. So far, though, the gameplay has not been different in any of the eras thus far, so I really don't expect it to be. It's just more stuff that you have, more text to research, more mandates that you can do, or I think they call it, it's not mandates, they call it edicts. More edicts here. You can put your taxes there. There's a few more things that you can affect, of course, as you move through the eras, but pretty much it really doesn't play all that much differently. But yeah, overall, guys, I did find the game just far too shallow. The prestige here, you hardly ever use it because it's too easy to get stuff past. It's also not really used for much else. The money here is it's too easy to manage your economy and do well. I just found it a really shallow game that wasn't really challenging, and there is no fun to be had on a second playthrough. At least I couldn't find any fun. Maybe you can. Yeah, but I guess I'm going to wrap this up. That's pretty much my thoughts on the game, guys. So yeah, if you like what you see, like what you heard here, and if you haven't watched the Let's Play, you might want to do that before making a purchase of the game. But yeah, if you like all that, then yeah, definitely pick this game up. Like I said, there is some fun to be had. But yeah, if not, if you are looking for something more replayable, if you're looking something with a little bit more depth in your city building / political strategy games, if you want a little bit more depth, then this is not the game for you. I would not suggest getting it. Personally, if I had to go back and talk to my old self whether I want to buy this game or not, and it wasn't for YouTube, because obviously, I have YouTube money that I use to buy games for the channel here, and if I was just a regular old person, I would tell myself not to buy the game, especially not full price, just because it's not what I'm looking for. Just one fun campaign is not enough for me. I want replayability, and I want depth in my games. And so yeah, I would say that this game is maybe for some people, and it's just not for people such as myself. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this review, hear my thoughts on this game here, if you guys enjoyed the full Let's Play series, please leave a like on this video. Also comment if you're playing the game as well. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on the game. Do you guys feel similar to me, or are you feeling completely differently? Are you loving this game? Have you played it through multiple times and you just can't get enough? Or maybe you played 3 and you enjoyed all 3 or whatever. I would love to hear you guys' comments on it, see if how other people are feeling about the game. Yeah, but I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts about this game in the comments, regardless of what they are, whether you agree with me, disagree with me, positive or negative. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you like what we're doing here, whether it's just what I do personally by myself, or whether you like the everything on the channel, all the stuff that we do with me and HiJynx, as we do our co-op kind of Let's Plays, our couple gaming, as we like to call it. Yeah, so subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying it. And of course, if you don't like what we're doing here, you can always leave a dislike, leave a comment with some constructive criticism. We're always all right with that as well, guys. All right, thanks for watching, guys.